I think that most, if not all, citizens of Colleyville decided to move here because of the large lots, large trees, and small town feel with the amenities offered by being in a metroplex close to a major international airport. I'm not here to discuss whether Glade Road improvements are needed. I think that any reasonable person would agree that Glade Road is in dire need of improvement. That same reasonable person would also agree that property acquisition is appropriate for road improvements, but not for beautification or 10-foot sidewalks. That same reasonable person would also see that additional property would be needed for Glade Road improvements even as early as 1 year ago when preliminary plans were being discussed. Yet, in a pre-council meeting a year ago, Councilman Putnam attempted to discuss and bring up the fact that city staff had indicated that eminent domain would be required to acquire land for Glade Road. In fact, I watched the video from that this morning. Councilman Putnam was immediately dismissed by Councilman Magid for bringing up an issue that had not been presented by city staff other than this anonymous source. No one else on the council supported the obvious concern that any reasonable person can see that additional property will be needed for Glade Road improvements. There was a lot of communication last year during the elections, which were just discussed by the previous people. And that communication implied that no additional land would be required. My concern tonight is accountability for information and truthfulness. It appears that the council has been very careful to provide the impression that plenty of right-of-way exists and no property acquisition will be required. We all know that that is not factual. The pre-council April 19th Glade Road Phase 1 update summary of a 90% plan provides information regarding property acquisition and tree impacts. The tree impacts are significant. The document goes to great lengths to describe tree mitigation actions that can be done if funding is allocated. This would lead the casual reader to think these actions will be taken. The April 19th document indicates that the trees will be replaced with 30-gallon trees if funding is allocated. In quotes in the document, this will reestablish the tree canopy along the corridor. Now, it'll take a lot of years for a 12-foot tall, 3-inch caliper, 30-gallon tree to replace the canopy of a 30-foot tall, 12 to 24-inch caliper tree. It's human nature to want to tell people what they want to hear. My request to you is that you provide straightforward information to Colleyville citizens that does not soften the message to the point of misinformation. Thank you.